Hey babies, how you doing? I brought you out here to the shop, and as you can see over here, I've got my boards. I finished uh, those ones that were clamped up this morning. Everybody is finished and ready for their first coat of mineral oil. So I thought I'd invite y'all to watch that happen because it's pretty magical, when you first put it on there. Now, I've got a little deal set up over here. One of these days, I'm going to have like professional quality video. This is not one of those days. However, this does have a little microphone on here. See? I'm going to plug that in down here. See if that sounds better. Does that sound better? I have a radio voice now. Yeah. So anyway, let me put y'all in this little stand deal right here. And hopefully that's going to hold everything. And you got a shot right there of the plate. Let me just loosen this up and focus in on it there a little bit. There you go. Now you can see it real good, I reckon. And let's just do this. First, get a little rag over here. Because I get these rags, and they come in handy for all kinds of things, you know what I'm saying? And then, I bought me some of these, they call these painter tripods, and I know you've seen people, if you've watched YouTube channel, you've seen some of those people online using these when they put a coat on something, because you don't have to wait for one side to dry to put a finish on the other side. Because these little tripods, you see, well, you can't see, well, maybe you can see. There you go. Set like that, and so you just got this little bitty point that touches the finished surface. Now, here's another nice thing about it, and these are cheap, man. It's only a couple bucks, you know what I mean? But if you look here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you got a male on this leg and a female on the other two legs. Now, what's fabulous about that is, like, say you're going to do a dowel or something round. Well, that's just cool, because you take this and hook this in that, like that. You see what I'm saying? Move this over here, and you hook the two together. All right, now you can set it this way on the points, and you've got a deal to set anything round in. Isn't that fabulous? It's just lovely. Anyway, I don't have anything round. I'm using the board. So what I do is I'll just set 4 of these down here underneath my board. Now what I'm going to do is I can take this anti-skid deal out. I don't need that now. And I'll set that down there. Set this over here. Boom, there we go. Now when I'm done, I'm just going to lean it up against the wall. I'm just going to lean it up against the wall like that and let it dry. But for now, I'm just going to set it like that. Put a coat, flip it, put another coat, and then you can see it as it, let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. Hang on. Don't get sick on me. All right, there you go. There. Maybe that's a better view. All right, so here we go. So what I done is I got me one of these little deals at the dollar store, buck, and I put my mineral oil in it, because what's so fabulous about it is now I can control how much I'm actually putting, and it's got a little keeper over here for the, oh, isn't that lovely, huh? Anyway, we'll just squirt some on the board, and now you can watch the magic happen. Just cover that on there. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? Now, what I want to explain to you while I do this is my goal, because there's about, everybody and his uncle are making cutting boards and charcuterie boards and so forth. And so I don't want to compete with those people. Just let them make those boards. My boards are going to be the Cadillacs the Porsches, the Rolls Royces, the family heirlooms, because not only is it exotic woods, like this is Puttuck and oak, red oak, in this particular board. This one over here is oak and walnut, and I can't remember what this is right now. I'll have to look it up again. But it's a wood from South America. And then the same with these other ones. It's all going to be exotic woods. And then I'm going to start putting inlays. And my inlays will be abalone, mother of pearl. I'll also be using semi-precious gemstones as well as silver and gold wire. And all of it will be inlaid, so it'll be a surface. And then it will be designs and or some scenes. And the more practice I get, the more intricate they'll become. And so these are going to be for families, to hand down as an heirloom. And so it'll be this generation's stainless, or a sterling silver tea set. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's that side. Flip it over. Do this one. Rub that in. Slow down a little bit so don't splash it so much. And that's just kind of a fabulous deal right there. I don't care who you are. I like that. And the nice thing is that this is food grade mineral oil. And it treats the wood. It's good for the wood. And then after I'm finished with this, it'll set for 24 hours and soak in. Then what I'm going to do, that's the wind. I think there's a storm on the way, and it's just the wind's out there blowing that door and it's banging. So bear with me on that. Anyway, isn't that lovely? Huh? I'm going to do this other side here again. That's a nice little even coat. Make sure the edge all the way around is done. And if you can see on this particular one, what I did was I put a relief on the bottom side so that when you pick it up, you got a little place to put your fingers when it's laying down and just lift it up. And you don't have to slide it to the edge of the table. Now what I plan on these cutting boards, I'm going to put silicone legs in the four corners so that we'll keep the bottom up off of your table, which just makes it nice. And they won't slide around. Okay, there's one. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way over here. I think I need about I'm just now organizing my shop. And so I need, you can see the contrast there between the one that's got the oil and the one that don't have the oil. Now, you see this? Isn't that lovely? It's really nice. But now watch. I put music on, but they got copyright issues on Facebook, and if it's not your song, and Lord knows you don't want to hear me sing. Trust me. I used to could sing pretty good, being from a hillbilly family. We had to demonstrate our musical abilities, or we had to leave. That's just the way that is, But anyway, isn't that lovely? I think that is just fabulous myself. And so just bear with me. I'm going to do this, a couple, 2 or 3 every week, the basic. And then I'm going to go back. I've already had people contact me wanting boards. My friends and whatnot. Man, you gonna make me one of them? I certainly will. And some people have had specific requests for themes, and I'll do my best to be able to do that. But my biggest thing is I want to make something that is unique and that you'll be proud to own in your home. And it's a little something for an old man like me to demonstrate some of my woodworking talents. Now this one I made from pecan wood. No, wait a minute. No, this was oak. I think it was oak. Yeah, no, it's pecan wood. I'm sorry. And this was come out of a limb. It was about, no, I'm sorry, it's oak. This come out of a limb that was about 3.5 inches around. It was about that big around. And I cut that on the saw, and then, drop my rag down here. And then, I milled it, glued it together, like this. And then after it set up, you know, it was the pieces were run like this, right? After that was set up, well then I cut it across the pieces at 1.5 inches and then turned it up. So this is the end grain for the cutting board. And then if you look, I cut a 45-degree angle on the end of it so that when it's laying, you got a place to put your fingers under, lift it up. Alrighty? So let's see what this is going to look like. I think this is going to be, oh my, man, that's got more depth and character to it than I thought it had. That's pretty cool. And this has got, had a lot of sort of heartwood, but it wasn't in the heart. It was like, because it was a limb, you know what I'm saying? And you can see like here, and I filled the deficits and so forth, but I want to leave it natural because look how, now see the end grain, look how that soaked in. Man, that was just boom. It's in there already. I mean, the only place where you're getting a sheen is on the heartwood. See that? Alrighty. So let me just put a little bit more on there. And just get it on there. And then when I'm finished with this, I'm going to, after it soaks in, I'll hit it with water. And the reason you want to hit it with water is because it will raise the fiber. And the fiber will stand up, just like when you're scared and the hair on your arm stands up. Yeah, well, that's what the fiber will do here when you hit with the water. And then you let it dry naturally, and then you can sand it with about 600 grit. And then it's just super buttery smooth. But if you can, I don't know if you can see that the grain, the dark part of the grain, is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I don't know how well it's showing up on my phone because that's what I'm recording all this with, but you know, it's doing okay. But that's kind of a nice looking wood there, isn't it? Lovely. And put it on this side, and we'll do the same thing over here. Now I don't have any sponsors, so all of the tools I use I buy with my money. All of the supplies that I use, I buy with my money. I'm eventually going to set up a website so that you can order some of these if you want one. And, you know, that's coming in the future, but I want to get some made so I have an inventory. 5 or 6 of these I don't think is going to be enough. So bear with me, be patient. These will be well worth the wait because I put a lot of love and craftsmanship into each piece because I want each one to be special in its own way. Now this one was a red oak that was just eat up with worms and whatnot, right? Because it was just you know, basically like a piece of driftwood. It's just an old tree died and been laying for like almost over a year, and the bark was all gone and everything. And so I just cut it up, and I made this little miniature charcuterie board. Yeah. And so now Keep knocking stuff over here. Let's see what this is going to look like when the oil hits it. Do. I think this is going to be just, oh man. Huh? Look at that. I filled the voids, I don't know if you can see it or not, with epoxy that I put a bit of, well, I use this vintage wine mica coloring stuff. You can use this when you make soap, when you make anything. It's just a pigment, and but it's a mica pigment, and so if it's not going to show real good here because I haven't. I'm recording this with my phone, and so now it just kind of looks red. Can you see it? Yeah. So, but once I do this and sand it with a 600 grit, you'll be able to see down in it. Of course, I got a glare on there right now, so maybe if I get a little closer, you can kind of see what we're talking about, and it'll be really nice once I get it down. But look at the grain in this. Isn't this is just fabulous. I love it. I don't know how well you can see that, but isn't that that's just gorgeous wood right there. And this would have ended up a piece of firewood, or just in a big bond pile to get rid of. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this wood has too much character and too much beauty to just be thrown away. So I salvaged the piece and tried to make something out of it. Here we go. Now this side over here, you might be able to see, it had a bigger void on this side, and we'll see how this works here. There you go. Now you can see, maybe you can see the red there. Now when that sands out, that will become completely clear, and it's really nice. And boy, this was a job, because every one of those was full of sawdust from milling and cutting, and then I had to use. Let me show you what I used. I bought me. Let me put this on there. Treat this. I bought me a set of dental tools, right? And so this is what I used to pick out all of that sawdust, get all that sawdust out of the void, and then be able to have something to pour the epoxy in. Get in there. Okay. Seriously? Having us a little issue. Here we go. Now see, if I was a professional, this would either make the blooper reel or get edited out, but that's not going to happen. So anyway, that's this one. That's lovely. I really love to look at that. That is just gorgeous. That has so much character, huh? And after I finish with the oil and raising the wood, fiber, and then sanding it with the 600, and then I'm going to put a conditioner. Let me show you that conditioner real quick. And if you have cutting boards at your house and you want to keep them in good condition, get you some of this. It don't have to be this brand, but something that has basically food grade mineral oil and natural waxes in it. And then this is what you put on when you're done, when this is finished, the last thing. And then you can put this on and let it haze, and then you can buff it off, and you get a nice satin finish that's durable, moisture proof, so that the juices and whatnot doesn't soak into your board, and it's easier to clean. And then when you clean it, those fibers aren't going to stand back up again, because it keeps the moisture from going into the fiber. It keeps it on the surface, beads up and rolls off. That's what you want. All right, so let's see what this one's going to look like. I got a feeling this is going to look kind of nice. Now I love this paddock is what this wood, this red looking wood, and this is just oak and walnut and paddock, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. I like it. And you can see, and this is also good for your hands, by the way. You know, if your hands dry, I'm not using gloves, because this is it's just mineral oil, pure food grade mineral oil. So it's good for my skin as well as the wood. So this is a beauty treatment for us men. Think about it that way. All right. Let's hit the backside. Then I hope to be able to set up a good recording so you people can watch when I do the inlay work. And trust me, I'm going to do a couple inlays first and make sure I don't screw up. And then I'll do it on video so you can see it. But I think pretty much I've done inlay before. I've just not done it this intricate or this detailed, or using the materials. The inlays that I've done before has just been contrasting woods, you know, a light wood, a dark wood, and it turned out really nice. And it's not that difficult to do. You just have to take your time. And the most important thing is sizing and knowing your woods, because there are some woods that are just so hard that if you're going to do, and then of course most of your inlays, remember you're dealing with stuff that's a few thousandths thick. You know, you're not putting in a big chunk of wood. You got something that's less than, it generally runs about 1/8 of an inch or under. Yeah, so you're looking 20-25 millimeter if you want to use the metric system along that area, and that's what you're putting in. And the kind of stuff I'm going to do is, if you've ever seen, when I talk about being intricate, if you've ever seen the fret board on a guitar, a really nice guitar, and well, I grabbed the wrong thing. Let me just turn this over so you can see me now. Hey, how you doing? Huh? And you've seen the fretwork on a really nice guitar, and how delicate and intricate that is between the frets on the fingerboard itself. That's the quality work that I'm going to be putting in these boards. And generally what I'm going to have, like, let me turn this back around so I can show you the board over here, so I can say, like, this is the board. I may have, you know, a little design over in this corner with a couple dots or something, and a couple SE thingies or whatever. Or, you know, I may have something, you know, depending on the theme. If a person wanted a nautical theme, I may have like the nautical compass, you know, which is like a three-dimensional star, basically is what it looks like. And I'll have that put in, but it'll be lined with silver and gold. So it'll have some precious or semi-precious metal and or gemstone and or abalone shell or something like that to really make it pop. All right, so follow along. I'm gonna let these dry, and then tomorrow, let me get another rag over here so I can wipe my hands down a little bit. Geez. Tomorrow I'm going to spray this with some water. This will have soaked all the way in and appear dry again, and then I'm going to hit with water and then let it dry naturally. I'll put it over on my other bench across the way, and let me set that up there so I look. Hey, how you doing? I'll put that on my other bench on the other side and just let it set and dry naturally, and I'll come back, hit with 600. Then I'll put the conditioner here on it, let that dry, and then hit it with the buffer, and just polish it up, and then these boards will be ready to go. Then I'll make some more. I'm also going to build a mill, and I've got some logs coming that I'm going to mill my own lumber. And these is wood. It's a hardwood. I'll have some cedar. I'll have some pecan. I'll have oak. I'll have cypress. I'll have walnut, and hopefully I can get some mesquite. That's a little harder to get. I mean, it's everywhere, but it takes a mesquite tree decades to get big enough to get lumber out of. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a bush, basically. And then, so I'll have that going on, and that should be pretty nice. So, you know, I've got, what I got there, 5? Yeah, I got 5 boards done, and, well, I say done, you know, there are various stages of done, and then I'll start on the other stuff. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. There's going to be some fascinating things happen, you know, and it's just me doing all this by myself. And remember, when you see this, like it and subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell so that you get a notification when something new is happening, because you don't want to fall behind and have to have people say, hey, did you see what Rick did? No, what did he do? Well, you know, you want to be the person to ask, what did Rick do? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to know what Rick does. Especially Rick. You know, I'd love to know what the hell I'm doing. But, you know, one of these days, maybe that'll happen. So far, it's iffy. You know what I mean? At best. So, y'all have a good one. Try to be nice to one another, because that's an important thing.